Hello, Gaston County. Welcome to episode number 184 of Gaston's Great, a podcast highlighting some of the great things happening in and around Gaston County. I'm your host, Stephen Long. We're coming to you once again from the international headquarters of GSM Services right here in downtown Gastonia. We simply believe in discussing more of the reasons why Gaston's great. We are highlighting another great organization this week as we highlight the Ashbrook High School Foundation. We have Preston Bullock and Kendall Massey with us today. Preston is the current chair of the board, and Kendall is a board member. So Preston and Kendall, it's great to have you on, and welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So we'd like to get right to it. So Preston, I'm going to start with you. The first question is kind of straightforward. Just tell us about yourself, anything that you'd like to share.
Sure, absolutely. Well, hello. My name is Preston. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us on and highlighting the Ashbrook Foundation. I'm a Gastonia native, as is my whole family, basically. So Ashbrook is the high school that I went to, and definitely something that I felt as though I wanted to give back to and felt passionate about. But I graduated from Ashbrook in 2016, and we are currently planning our 10-year reunion.
Ugh.
So feeling super old these days, but
Really?
I know. It's relative, right?
Yes, it is.
So when Kendall tells you his graduating year, we'll all feel old.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I went to NC State after I took a brief gap year, and I also studied fashion textile management at NC State, and spent 4 years there. I graduated from NC State in 2021, and I started a job at Parkdale Mills, which is also here in Gastonia.
Sure.
So I currently live in Charlotte, but I commute into Gastonia every day. Love to be close to family. Love to be here in Gastonia at Parkdale. I am a brand sales manager for our textile technology, which is called Cyclo. And Cyclo is a biodegradable technology that allows for polyester and nylon to break down and biodegrade in under 5 years.
Interesting.
As compared to centuries with just a conventional polyester or nylon. So definitely passionate about sustainability, love textiles. I've been at Parkdale for 5 years now, which is also crazy to think about. But it's been a wonderful organization. Been super involved in the community through Parkdale as well, especially with the YMCA. We're big Pledge to Plunge folks, as I know GSM is as well.
Yeah.
We'll see you out there.
Yeah. I will be there probably not in the water.
Come on, you got to jump. That's the best part.
I'm too old.
It's like a cold plunge. That's the thing these days, right?
Yeah, a cold plunge in April or whenever it is. The first few actually were cold.
I know. I heard.
Yeah, but
I missed those, thankfully.
Yeah.
It's a little bit warmer in April, at the end of April.
Yeah, I think the first year we forced our kids to do it. It was cold.
As they should. Rite of passage,
That's right. All right. Well, listen, Preston, I appreciate you sharing that. Kendall, how would you answer that question? What do you want to share?
I don't know if I can come after that, but
that was pretty legit.
Don't let him get started.
I know,
he's so much cooler.
My name's Kendall Massey. I am a graduate of the only and best high school in Gaston County, Ashbrook High School,
year
That's right.
2020. After that, I went on to pursue football and business administration at Gardner-Webb.
Oh, sweet.
So graduated in 2023, and currently I'm an aspiring entrepreneur in the great city of Gaston County. So we do several things, property management, landscaping, little light construction, and so on and so forth. So, and
what's the name of that company?
Massey Landscaping.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then
you can't see on the video. Yeah, it's on his hoodie.
Promoting.
All right. So we talked a little bit right before we started recording. Go ahead and talk about, while I'm thinking about it, some of this other entrepreneurial community stuff that you're doing. I thought was very interesting.
So my cousin Garvin Collins and I have started kind of an initiative that we labeled Culture Keepers, and so the whole idea and initiative around it is to educate and inform the younger people about basically keeping their culture. So of all cultures, ethnicities, ages, races, it doesn't matter. It's whatever's near and dear to you. We want you to keep it. So with that follows a clothing brand that every month we come out. I think it's right now we're going to go every quarter. We're going to drop a vault, and that vault will encompass what people vote for. So if we have a certain number of votes for a specific style, we'll drop that style in that vault. And then we, through that, we want to do some nonprofit work. We are 501c3, and that will encompass like helping out. We have a mentorship program that's alongside of it. We go into a couple of middle schools now and just help out with the younger generation. So just trying to give back to the city that gave us so much.
All right. So that sounds almost like a completely separate episode of the Gaston's Great podcast. We might have to consider that. Now, most importantly, you're here one-upping your mother, who was on a previous episode. I don't know if she can see if she's looking at the video right now.
Hey, Mom. Hey.
Amia, come on. So, but listen, I appreciate that, sharing a little bit about yourselves. It's always good for our listeners to get a little background on who's here. So, we're here to talk about the Ashbrook Foundation. So, I'll probably throw these questions to both of you,
Sure.
but Preston, start with you because you're the current chair.
Sure.
Can you give us first maybe just a little, if you have any, a little background? I think I saw online the foundation was founded in 2017.
Correct.
If I remember that correctly. So just a little bit, how did it get started? What's the mission? And, of course, I'll let both of you kind of interject on that question.
Sure. And Kendall, stop me if I'm wrong or if you can fill in any blanks. But yes, the foundation was started in 2017 by a group of alumni. And really the main goal of the foundation is just to support the school.
Okay.
As everybody knows, education is facing a lot of budget cuts.
Sure.
From all kinds of sources.
Might be an understatement, yes.
That's definitely an understatement, but we as a foundation our main goal is to support the students of the school and the teachers of the school, whether that be through scholarships. We give out 2 scholarships every year at the end of the year for somebody to go to college.
Okay.
We also give out teacher grants. We actually just recently gave out 2 teacher grants. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago now. 2 $500 grants to 2 teachers for various different needs in their classroom or a specific project they were working on, anything that would help really foster just better education,
Okay.
Better learning environments for any type of teacher at the school. In addition, we also give grants for the arts and choral and band programs. We also give grants for the athletic programs as well. And then just any other really thing that the school needs.
Sure.
So, for example, they needed maybe some support for an AB honor roll sweet treat at the end of at the end of the grading
event
period.
or something.
So, some of those extracurricular funding opportunities that we're previously getting, we were able to help kind of
subsidize the event.
that.
Yeah.
And so different types of, typically they try and feed the teachers at early release days, parent-teacher conference days, teacher appreciation week. So we also try and support the teachers in that way.
Sometimes, and it might be things that in the past, some teachers might be coming out of pocket for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the school itself coming out of pocket for.
Right.
And so yeah, that's really what the foundation's pillars are, just to support the school in the face of budget cuts and lack of funding.
Right. All right. So I'm sure.
Hope that. Did I miss anything?
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
So would you add anything to that, or?
The biggest thing I'll add is going to Ashbrook, I was actually one of the first recipients of the scholarship.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
so
awesome.
Being on the board kind of means a little bit more to me than just going to Ashbrook. It actually helped me further my career. I mean, I remember when being a senior, the biggest thing was like, oh my gosh, I got to pay for school. And I thought I was a good athlete, but I don't know if I was good enough to get it all paid for. Not initially. Yeah. I was blessed to get a full scholarship eventually, but the Ashbrook scholarship helped me pay for books, schooling, housing, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like the biggest thing about me being on the board is I want as many people in Gastonia to know about the Ashbrook Foundation, because it truly did our goals and our mission. I'm a believer.
You're a product
of
of
it.
that, right?
I'm a product of the environment. Okay. So I mean, I was blessed to receive the scholarship, use it at school, and it helped me become who I am today.
All right, well, that's fantastic. So that's a great. You beat me to that question about why are you involved. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously a clear. Preston, why would you say, why are you involved? I mean, other people could do it, or we're busy and so many things going on. Yeah, what's the point?
It's a great question. I got a call from Wade Coffee, a couple of years ago.
Well, he's behind all of this.
I know he is. But I got a call from him, and of course he's a longtime family friend, and I babysat their kids growing up. So
wow.
I respect the coffees, and I respect Wade's opinion, and he reached out to me just to see if I would be even interested in joining the board. So I was looking for things to get involved in. Of course, post-graduation of college, you're kind of looking for, okay, where do I go from here?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I was living in Charlotte at the time, but working in Gastonia. Of course, Gastonia is near and dear to my heart. Ashbrook is near and dear to my heart. So it really felt like a wonderful opportunity for me to give my extra time to an organization that actually is doing things to support the students and the teachers and the school in general. And so I went to a meeting, and the rest is history, I guess. But it's a great group of individuals, and it's nice to meet new people around the community that I've really been around for pretty much my entire life, or people that graduated with my parents, or who knew my grandparents or know my grandparents.
So old people is what you're saying.
Well, and then we have young people like Kendall, who I didn't know growing up because we missed each other at school. But Kendall's a mover and a shaker in the community, and so it's really great to be surrounded by so many people who actually care, and who are giving their free time to such a wonderful organization to support a place, like Kendall said, that really did give back to us in so many different ways. I mean, we spent our formative years in high school.
Oh,
and
sure.
We were just lucky enough to spend it at Ashbrook.
So the couple things that I've noticed on the website, what I really probably liked the most was the year range of graduates on the board, right? I think I saw as early as 82, maybe. And then, are you the youngest?
He's the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right. So that's just it's so many organizations get stuck with that, either older or too young. So having that mix, I think, is really good. And then, secondly, I'll make a quick comment. My because I was at Ashbrook a few years ago, back when it was still, it was just 10th, 11th, and 12th grade back in the day. So I went off to college, and I got to meet all these. I got still great friends of mine that were elsewhere. And you know what? They did not have a good high school experience. I had a terrific high school experience. I mean, I'm still friends with, for guys there, well, like Wade as an example, right? Wade and I consider him a terrific, close friend. And so it's interesting, but I did see, I was able to get exposed to other people who just, high school, that was awful. And I don't know, I just didn't experience that. Now, Gastonia, I'm also a total homer for Gastonia. I'm a total homer for Ashbrook High School. So, some of that might not be very objective, right? It's a little more subjective. But my point there is I did have a good experience, and it's nice to hear that. And that does, lead, I think, individuals to want to stay involved and give back.
Absolutely.
And, of course, of course, we'll talk about the event that's coming up before we finish, and we'll make sure we'll touch back on what you're doing and how to learn more about that as well. So with your involvement, is there something, I mean, you named a lot of things that you guys have been doing. Is there something for both of you that you've seen that you're like, wow, or something that the foundation has done or supported that you said, wow, that's exactly why we should have a foundation. That's exactly why I'm involved. Something that you supported or saw happen, or is that a fair question?
Mm-hmm.
Or have you already answered that with just the multiple things or something specific that you can think of?
I can kind of speak on two things. I mean, like I said, the scholarships, I'll save that for a second, but another one, the teacher grants. I mean, it's no hidden cause that North Carolina nationwide teachers struggle to get the funding they need. They struggle to get the salary they need. I mean, you think about it, at the end of the day, doctors wouldn't be doctors without teachers. Lawyers wouldn't be lawyers without teachers. I mean, there's really not a lot of careers, even in my profession, in the blue-collar field, that we don't have to learn what we're applying. And so the biggest thing with the teacher grants is when we're deciding this and we're reading all the teacher applications, I wish we could give a teacher grant to every teacher that applies. Sure. And that's why joining the foundation is so near and dear to my heart, because it's like I want to raise as much money as possible to one day in the future be able to say, okay, boom, all the teachers, here is the allotted amount you get. You don't have to apply. This is what the foundation gives you. Just off of being an Ashbrook teacher. And then on the flip side, the students. I mean, you wouldn't get anywhere without schooling. My whole family is involved in Gaston County schools. Oh my gosh. And so education is a pillar in our family. And in knowing that, I tried to go as far as I could. School wasn't my thing, but in school I learned a lot. I learned a lot of, honestly, my whole entire connection comes from Ashbrook. Everybody I know, I mean, like you said, in college, I talked to players in the locker room. High school was fun. My high school was great. Yeah, I remember, I know your day was a lot different than mine, but like I'll never forget my first touchdown scored in William Eccles Field. We were playing East Meck, 40-yard line, ran a jet sweep to the right, scored, and the zoo crew went crazy. I was a sophomore, and that was when like we really had school support back then. The flower game where they throw the flower up in the air. Like, I mean, our zoo crew is 200 people deep. And, like, to see that, like, the Georgia football, the Texas football, like, I saw that at Ashbrook. And that's why, like, seeing those students really engulf themselves in the culture of Ashbrook, like, you want to help them out. You want to help them get to their dreams and their future endeavors and stuff like that. So that's what the Ashbrook Foundation, like, at its core is about. And that's why I love just kind of doing whatever possible to help them, you know, reach their goals.
So I'm old enough, Kendall, that William Eccles was at Ashbrook. And I was there. He was my 10th grade geometry teacher, and he was still coaching when I was there. So
he was coaching when I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Eccles, his son, was our AD, still the active AD.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, Coach Eccles come around on his golf cart. That's not right. That's not right. So
he'll tell you too.
I love that every home game I go to, I shoot him a wave. He comes down, gives me a hug. Like, that's what I'm saying.
He's a good man.
Ashbrook is a true family, and it has the culture. Like, I mean, nothing against these other schools, but Forest View, you know, developed a little later. I mean, I talked to my grandmother, and she talks about Ashley Arms and how they developed into, you know, the Huss and Ashbrook rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And like that, it's just.
My dad attended Ashley High School.
It's deeply rooted in the Gaston County history, and it means something. It means something to say, I went to Ashbrook High School. I wear that green and white. You don't see too many people with those varsity jackets, but I got mine. And when we play Huss and it's at home, I wear it. And
That's
people
funny,
are like, Cass Kendall Massey. Now I'm known by my sister. God, I hate that. But it's like, that's Cameron Massey's brother. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
you know,
the track star.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, but it means something to wear that Kelly green.
Yeah, I agree. Preston, would you add anything to that question about something specific that, you know, you've seen that says, wow, that's why I'm involved?
I think, you know, along the same lines is we were actually involved in the teacher grants this year. I mean, it's been a couple of years. We kind of got the foundation going.
It takes a long time.
It
takes a long time for things to get going, especially through that event called COVID. A lot of nonprofit organizations just took a hit, and many of those that I'm involved with are really just now getting back on their feet.
Yes, absolutely, and so really this year was kind of a big year for us with the teacher grants, and you know, $500 for a teacher grant, for 2 teacher grants, you know, $1,000 total. It's not a whole lot, you know, in the grand scheme of things, but the fact that the funds that we have raised went to better educate the students in our community so that they can grow up and, you know, do all kinds of amazing things. We had a little part of that. That gives you a sense of community pride. It gives you a sense of Ashbrook pride, and that you're actually doing something for good. I mean, if we can, you know, provide this TV that can help better, you know, the learning environment of somebody in a classroom, why not? You know, so it's really just wonderful to be able to give these opportunities to these teachers, and then of course then on to the students. But I mean, the scholarships, that's been something that we've consistently done since the foundation, I believe, was created. And I was also blessed I didn't receive the Ashbrook Foundation scholarship, but I received other scholarships to go to NC State, and it really, I mean, it made a big difference in my college experience. And to be able to relieve that pressure off of the student and off of the parents, you know, either short-term or long-term.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, what a wonderful thing that is as well. So
yeah, I've had two children graduate from Western Carolina, Appalachian State, and one at Indiana State. So as a parent, I'm well aware of the what's required to go to those colleges financially.
Absolutely.
So it is a big deal.
I think everybody knows that all too well. And so, just being able to see and just the fruits of our labor, if you will.
Sure.
Because this event that we'll talk about is actually kind of our first event that we've really ever planned as a foundation board together. And so we're really excited about that. And other events that we've done in the past were, of course, great fundraising opportunities. Sure. But this is kind of our first grassroots
Let's go ahead. Well,
event.
Okay, so you breached that. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Sorry if I jumped the gun there.
No, you didn't. No, I was eventually obviously going to ask. And that was kind of one of the things that triggered the timing, and Wade constantly talking to me about it.
Thank you, Wade. He's doing his job.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming fundraiser. I think it's the next month.
Yes.
We're recording this on March, what's today? 18th?
18th. I think it's 18th.
18th.
So it's exactly a month.
Exactly.
As far as date goes.
As far as date goes,
Yep.
yes. So we are hosting our very first 5K and 1 mile fun walk. We are calling it Run the Wave. And it's actually our spring fundraising event,
Okay.
if you will. This is Kendall's baby. So if you
All
want
right.
to
Let's
talk
hear it.
about it, you're more than welcome to take
So,
the reins here.
It's our baby. It's the Ashbrook Foundation's baby. And so we, as a committee, we came together and we thought of fundraising ideas. Like I said, I mean, it's no secret that you cannot operate without funds.
Sure.
And so we have a working budget. We have a good budget. We're blessed to have what we have, and we thank everybody who has ever donated to the cause of the Ashbrook Foundation. But to stay operating, to stay, keeping at our core roots, we have to have more money. And so we thought of this idea as a committee to have a 5K, run, walk, trail race, and kind of what we want to do is we just want to get the community out. We want to get Ashbrook graduates out. We want to get runners out. We want to get everybody. My pastor says it all the time, la-di-da-di, everybody out to run. And so I know when Orstel Barnett was the chairperson of the Ashbrook Foundation, he called me at school and was like, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I need you to run this 5K with me. I'm like, I'm not doing that, dog. I'm like, just because I play football, they always say in between the yard marks, like, you run for 7 seconds, you pause. You run for 7 seconds, you pause. My coach says, if you can give me your best 7 seconds, you'll be the best player I ever had. It took me 30 minutes to get across that finish line. And if you go look at my Facebook, if you go back, I died. But
30 minutes
it was
so bad.
It was for the Ashbrook Foundation, and at that time I think the Community Foundation was hosting that one. And that's kind of where we got the idea to just have a day of fun, faith, fellowship, everything that involves the Ashbrook Foundation. So registration is live. It's been live. It's up. We would love everybody. Just come out, walk, run, talk, have fun, bring your next door neighbor, bring your family, your friends, your cousin. You don't got to run.
So when and where?
So it's on Saturday, April 18th. The race itself starts at 9, but obviously we suggest you getting there a little bit earlier to pick up your bib and things like that. But we're super excited. It's at Ashbrook High School. It will be held on the Ashbrook High School cross-country trail.
I've never ran it, but I've seen it many times when my daughter was running
we hope that you'll be out there.
Oh, I will.
Right, Stephen? Okay, great, perfect. I did run cross-country at Ashbrook, so I'm excited to get back to my roots. I'll be running a lot slower. I mean, if I do end up running, we might not be able to run, but it'll be good to be out there. But I'm going to
revoke our sponsorship
unless
y'all run.
I can't run. I have a previous injury. It's calling me out.
That's right. Yeah. So, we're really excited about it. But, yes, registration is live now. You can register on ashbrookfoundation.org. There should be a direct link, basically, to take you to the Run Sign Up link. You can also donate. So, of course, there's a link to register. So that would register you either for the 5K or the 1 mile fun walk, which is super low stakes, just an easy walk through the woods. And we actually do have a couple people signed up for that, and I think that that's honestly the way to go. But so currently the 5K registration is $40, and then the 1 mile fun walk is $30. Children under 12 are free, or either, I don't know, you might have to cut that one out, but
no. We heard it here first.
I think children under 12 for the 5K are maybe $15.
Okay.
And then for the walk, it's 10, I believe.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind if you want to bring your kiddos out. But yeah, we're really excited. It's going to be a really fun day. We're hoping for good weather. But we also have sponsorship opportunities.
Okay, that's what was my next question.
I believe, is GSM a sponsor?
Yes, we have.
Thank you so much.
As of
for
a couple
your
days ago, yes.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. We have 3 levels of sponsorship. Of course, gold, that's a $500 sponsorship. We have silver, which is $250, and then bronze, which is $100. So
I think we did the $250. So
yes.
But yeah, that's exciting.
And it comes with a lot of perks, too.
It
I mean,
does.
you name on a T-shirt. I know being a business owner, we love that kind of advertising. People are going to see it. They're going to wear it. You're not only going to wear this shirt on that Saturday, you'll put it on real quick to go to the Walmart, and people will see GSM.
That reminds me, do y'all need a logo for that?
We do.
All right.
We'll get with you after this.
Okay,
and get the logo. We'll get with you after this. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Amber will tell you, I have no idea what's going on around here.
Trust me, GSM, we see it everywhere. I
yes.
can get it offline, turn it into a vector. You're fine.
Probably.
You're good.
GSM is everywhere. You're
Probably.
right.
So, but we do have some different, they have all the specific types. Sure, we can get a logo and I'll send something. That's not what we need. Yeah.
Well, and with the gold sponsorship, I believe you get 3 free race entries.
Okay.
With the gold, you get 5, and then with the bronze, you get 1 free race entry, whether it be 5K or
so good. So
1 mile
what
walk.
you're saying is with our sponsorship, then Amber can run.
That's
Yes.
right. Exactly.
We'll see
you
you
can
there.
walk. You can
See
walk.
you there.
Well, I'll find some. We'll find some runners and recruit. I can probably get. We got a couple runners here in the company.
And wear your GSM merch.
Sure. Yeah.
My dad's gonna do a silver sponsorship as well, so they're all gonna be decked out in their CBSI attire.
You know what? I might actually, believe this or not, I might have given it back to. Isn't Mike Fox on y'all's board?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
All right, so I might have given it back to him, but when he graduated, he gave me his painter's overalls.
Oh, nice.
And so
Maybe I should wear those.
I had them for years.
I don't know if I can fit.
I was about to say. I don't know if I
And
can
you know what?
fit.
I probably
if I can fit
actually
in mine.
there was a period of time when I couldn't, but I think I probably could now.
Maybe if I start training for the race, I could fit into them.
But I still have a couple of long sleeves shirts from back in the day.
I might have to find out. Mine was, I'm not going to, there, the Gaston County Museum, like in Dallas.
Yeah.
So have you ever been in there?
Yeah.
You know how it's painted, like the walls. So through my mom working at the county, she introduced me to an individual who painted my pants.
Oh
so
my gosh.
the whole entire football schedule, I have
wow.
all of those opponents on them. I have a football field going down the back, and then my name mine were really nice.
Man.
I still have them, but I don't know if I can wear them.
Yeah.
It was a lot smaller back then.
It's funny. It's funny. For some reason, I played baseball. I never got a letter jacket. I actually have a Greer letter jacket still.
Wow.
No, and I cannot wear that. So, the green and
Too good.
the green and gold. So, listen, I appreciate you sharing because ultimately, especially the timing here is good because it's a few weeks from now, or 3 or 4 weeks from now,
Right.
and so hopefully, well, let me ask, is there a fundraising goal or anything that you have for the fundraiser?
We do have a goal of $20,000.
Okay.
It's a very high goal. We're shooting for the stars here.
Absolutely.
We're shooting for the stars.
Listen, I've been involved with the community things for 30 or 35 years, and yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. There's no reason not to.
Right. But, any amount helps. Even if you can't make it out to run or to walk, this is our spring fundraising event. So,
Sure.
Any donations of any kind, we will happily accept.
Yeah, running isn't a requirement for a donation.
It is not. It is not.
That's important to remember. Yeah, you don't have to go. We're not going to drag you out there. And
That's
make you
right.
run,
That's right.
But we will take your money.
We will take your money, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
but you have to
to-
know that
to
it's
your-
going to a good cause.
Yeah, to your point, Kendall, that's what's required, right? Organizations can't do good work
Right.
without having support and funding is just part of that. You got to have people on the ground and on the boards and doing actually taking the actions, and that's required. But without funding, you can't do any of that work, right? So I've learned that over the years and how important that is. And you know what? In our community in general, one reason I'm such a homer for Gaston County is we do have so many generous people,
Absolutely.
especially when we know it's something specific, right, like this, and something that we have an emotional attachment to, right? Because I still, every time, I mean, I drive by there all the time, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I love, you know, I'm when my kids were really young, they probably got, we know, Dad. That's where you went to high school. We know. So I'm sure they got tired of hearing that all the time. So obviously, the short term here, we've got this fundraiser, the 5K. What about as a board? Is there anything looking ahead? Any long-term plans, or is it getting back on your feet and just continuing to serve the school, or is there anything else? You know, that classic question is for organizations is, what's the 5 to 10 year plan? Well, I don't, in 2026, not many people do that anymore. We don't do that here anymore. Things change too fast to look at that. We might look 2 or 3 years out, but any plans or anything going in the long term?
So the biggest thing is, like, you always want to think long term. You always want to think about tomorrow. So we always have in the back of our mind, what does tomorrow hold? And like I said, without today and the funding, we do worry about tomorrow. But like I said, we want to sit down and not have to discuss over a teacher grant. We don't want to sit down and have to really bite tooth and nail on how much can we afford to give this kid. We want to look at a sheet of people. They meet the requirement, they get the scholarship. We want to look at a sheet of paper and say, okay, Ashbrook has 40 teachers. We have this much in the account. We can allot this much per teacher. And like she said, $500 to $1,000, it helps, but more can do more. You get what I'm saying? So we always think about the future. And I mean, like you said, Gastonia is great. I mean, I hate to say this, but congratulations to the men's Hunter Huss basketball team. And when we think about the future, you have to look at the athletic programs of all of the schools.
Sure.
I mean, Hunter Huss's basketball team, I got to say, Ashbrook's football team, over the past 3 to 4 years, they have literally marked their staple in North Carolina. Not Gastonia, not the Charlotte area, but like North Carolina. NC State. We have a former Ashbrook player at NC State right now, Caleb Gordon, linebacker, phenomenal player. And so when you talk about long-term, I got a call yesterday. They just built a softball locker room. Nobody knew about this. They were struggling to find funding for it. They figured it out. They found it out. It was built by some people at the school. The football team, they have a locker room, but they share it with the basketball team. Futuristically, maybe in the future, long-term, football locker room, we have so much space at Ashbrook that we can help out in, fostering relationships through Ashbrook. Like you said, donors are so far and few in Gastonia. They're everywhere. And we can find those people, and we want to help put those relationships together and be able to, write a check, put it on the table, and boom, we got a football locker room. We got a basketball locker room. We also support the arts. Trip McGill's on our board, and I'm a chorus baby. I'm Mars Hill, Furman. I was there. I was in that Trip McGill era, and so I know, like, over the past few years, like, some of my greatest memories, The Sound of Music, The Music Man. I was in that. Don't ask me how, but somehow he trapped me to be in that music.
Is there video proof online?
I hope not.
Sure
I really hope.
We can find that.
I was in a conductor hat. I will never forget I was the conductor. But like, that's a prime memory of my high school career, and like to be able to give grants to those departments, it means something to me. So long term, we want to call the choral teacher or the band teacher and say, hey, what do you need? Not you need to apply to get what you want. What do you need? What do you want? We got you. Perfect. We'll see you in the fall. That's what we want to say. So long term, we have a lot of goals and aspirations that we want to do. But like she said, it's one step at a time. We shoot for the stars, and hopefully one day we'll hit them. But right now, we're just laying it on the clouds and thanking God for whatever we get.
Absolutely. Will you add anything to that, Preston, or he covered it pretty good?
He covered it really well. Thank you, Kendall. I would agree 110%. I think not being able to have to question what we can and can't give, and we do have to be selective right now.
Those are tough decisions, because I've had to do that before with grants and organizations.
And I'm sure, all organizations, they have these issues, but and it's not even an issue. It's a great thing to be even in the position to be able to give. But I think that if we can be a resource for the school, especially in the face of all these budget cuts, to give them whatever they might need, whether it be a meal or a locker room, or, the stage lighting,
Sure.
whatever it might be. We want to be the people, we want to be the organization that helps them out in that way. And the best part about it is that it's funded by the community. So, it's kind of awesome in that way that we do have the opportunity to give back. But yeah, no, I would say we're hoping that the 5K will be an annual event that people look forward to. Of course, it's, kind of marks the beginning of spring. We're excited about that. I think that as far as for fundraising events goes, we'd like to have more fundraising events, more community events. We've got something in the works for the fall, kind of like a school kickoff situation that we're really excited about as well. So I think getting the community more involved in our fundraising instead of just, asking, of course the calling and the asking and the texting and the, posting on the internet is great. And that's really what's taken us so far right now. But we want to be boots on the ground. We want to be in person. We want to get the community excited about giving back to Ashbrook. So I think that's kind of just an addition to Kendall's explanation.
But that's great. And yeah, so and who knows, 3 or 4 years from now, who knows what might be going on, right?
Exactly.
It could look completely different. I mean, but anyway, I appreciate you sharing that. So, before we finish, we'll make sure that we let our listeners know website. Again, I'll let you reiterate the donation for the 5K or donations in general.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything that I should have asked that I haven't asked that you want to make sure you cover before we do make our guests endure some personal questions? We just sorry. You can compare these to your mom. I think she had to answer some of these questions too. So anything I haven't asked that I should have asked before we shift gears slightly?
I don't think so.
I'll just say I remember going back to when I graduated. I graduated a really tough time, COVID.
Yeah.
And it was a nationwide impact. It wasn't
a strange time.
Yeah, it wasn't something. It was a very unique time because it was something that like everybody could relate to. And I'm not meaning like, oh, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Washington. No, the whole entire world could relate to what everybody was going through. But something very unique that happened was like I remember walking out of my door one time, and I used to run back then, and there was just a yard sign that said Kendall Massey, graduated 2020. And I'm like, how'd that get there? And there was this group of moms that took it upon themselves to make sure every single graduate in the class of 2020.
Y'all didn't have the normal graduation.
Yeah. And so
my niece graduated from Forest View in 2020.
Bingo. And
so,
the biggest thing that kind of comes to mind right now is like when COVID happened, the community that came around Gastonia, and not just Gastonia, the whole entire nation. And it just goes back to a small word of giving, like the compassion behind why you give. We came, and with everything that's going on in the world, the nation, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be problems, but it literally takes nothing to just say, hey, how you doing? Be nice and give compassion to somebody. So if you can't support our 5K trail walk, support a student, support somebody walking to school, support a kid. I mean, I live in one of, I'd say the greatest neighborhoods in Gaston County. I used to, Gardner Park. And when I was going to high school, we all used to walk. But there used to be this man who used to stand at Redbud, and he used to just wave at us. I never talked to this man, ever. He used to just have a good day at school. And he didn't ever give us anything monetary, but it was his spirit that kept us going to walk through, Walmart, stop at Dunkin' Donuts, and go there. So if you can't support the cause, just give a little bit of compassion to those students. And I remember everybody was so nice back in 2020 because we were all going through the same thing. Yeah. And honestly, nothing has changed. Just we're in 2026 now. And so if you can't give a little bit of love. Remember the Ashbrook Foundation. Share our posts, please. We're on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook. Me and Preston we love Preston. we love when we can get our chairperson behind the camera.
I'm not great on camera.
It's a struggle, but share that. I mean,
well, we've got about 40 minutes of you on camera right now.
Well, don't judge me, everybody.
So please
Kendall's
share.
definitely better on
Share,
camera.
let people know. If you can't run, like I said, walk. If you can't walk, we'll even crawl. I'll have you out there, ride you around on the 4-wheeler.
That's
but
right.
definitely support the cause. It's for a good. It's really for something special.
Yes.
It's not just some thing Joe Blow that came up. We're trying to help people that mean something to this city, this county, and this region.
And future leaders of Gaston County, hopefully. And a lot of people, some people leave. I left for a few years, but I couldn't wait to get back.
You never forget it.
I'm fortunate to have traveled all over the place, and Gaston County is a pretty good place.
It sure is.
I've learned that. So we're going to shift gears real quick. And Preston, I'm going to start with you with this first question.
Okay.
So can you share something that very few people know about you?
Oh, gosh. You have to start with me? Kendall, I
That
know
is-
you have something.
That is correct. Now, we can shift gears if Kendall's already, Kendall does sound kind of like a Renaissance man over here. Got all kinds of things going on. So if you need to think about it for a second.
Yeah, Kendall, you go first.
Let's see. Very few people. Holbrook Middle School. I was in the robotics club.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that was
loved
cool.
it. Mr. Robinson, I'll never forget him. I saw him a couple of days ago at a career fair at Southwest. But I was in the robotics club, and that kind of piqued my interest for a different side of life, like the smaller, more technical, more not introverted, but unique style of life. And I got a 3D printer, and I love to print stuff.
That is cool.
So I mean, anything like the world of 3D printing is wild. Like if you need it, you can make it, and that's it. It sparks a level of creativity like you can't even just like.
Yeah, it's almost the possibilities. Are
the possibilities
limitless.
are endless. Like I mean. This is a really bad habit, and the people listening can't see it, but I love Monster energy drinks. So,
they can see it. The camera's right there.
Oh, yeah.
So they
I 3D printed.
So I'm sure we'll get some comments.
I told her, I said, this is probably my second one today, and it's not even 10 o'clock. Yeah, I know.
Goodness
it's bad.
gracious,
It's bad.
Kendall.
I 3D printed like a cup holder. So the main part sits in the cup holder, but it extends to hold 3 Monsters. And it was like
3.
Yeah,
you need a cup holder for 3.
Lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I mean,
My goodness.
I work long.
Look here. And
It's a liquid lineup.
Red Bull.
Amber's over here with the Red Bull too.
Yeah.
So
We're not sponsored, right?
but hers is much smaller.
I know. We work.
These nutrition facts.
We work
Kendall,
long hours, but it's just something as small as that.
Yeah, I'm
But
with you.
I literally printed the center console mold to sit in the cup holder, and then it extends to hold. And I shouldn't say Monsters; it holds 3 different drinks. But not a lot of people know. But it is something that I stay up late at night, and I think of what can make my life easier today. Like I'll just make it.
I mean, that's the mind of an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah,
there.
That's right.
Anything I want, I just make it.
I studied mechanical engineering at NC State, so that kind of stuff, robotics, just all kind of stuff like that is
It's
very
beautiful.
intriguing. Yeah,
But Mr. Robinson at Holbrook Middle School, I will never forget that teacher.
You know what? To your point about that, and specifically work that you're trying to do at the foundation, there are 6 or 7 teachers between, even one in elementary school, but especially Greer and Ashbrook, who I can immediately think of how they impacted me, right? And that's what I'm afraid so many people forget. But yeah, those teachers have such a potential to impact, positively and negatively. But Coach Eccles was one that had a real positive impact. And I see him now, and it's like we're back at Ashbrook, and he's coaching me on how to behave better, like he did back then. So you've had a few minutes.
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things. I am an open book, I will say. So the people in. So
you can't pass though.
I can't pass. No,
I
won't
on
pass.
This question.
I won't pass. I will say I am trying to. This might not be what you're looking for, but I'm trying to make this year the year of hobby hunting.
Oh, okay.
I think that as a younger person, post-grad, but living in the world of digital
adulting and
adulting, but the digital age,
it's a lot different than when I was your age.
Yes, and spending hours and hours and hours on social media and just looking at what other people are doing is a habit that I unfortunately have formed.
No, I get it.
Over the years. I think I Facebook in middle school. So, you know, it's been going on for a long time, and I think we develop these habits. So, I am trying to do a hobby every quarter.
Oh, that's cool.
This quarter has been sewing, and so when I went to NC State, kind of along the same lines as you, and my grandmother's a huge seamstress. She's always been, you know, into that and been able to make us all kinds of things. But I studied textiles, and I learned how to sew in college. Made clothes and designed lines of clothes, and learned how to make patterns and things like that. But I've fallen out of that, that interest. And, you know, it's like when you have to read a book for school. You know, I unfortunately have to say I did not read many books for school because I just didn't.
Have you read any books since school?
I have.
Okay.
That's another one of the hobbies is just reading in general. So really this quarter has been reading as well as sewing. So just trying to get back into things that interest me, you know, that take my eyes away from a screen. I mean, I sit at a desk most of the time, and unless I'm traveling, which of course I love to travel, but I don't know what my next quarter will be, but
well, you'll have to keep us updated.
I sure will.
And the team here at GSM knows my love-hate relationship with the devices. I call them the most wonderful, awful things ever created, right? Because they're so positive. They can be so powerful for learning and communication, but boy, the distraction can just be
it's like a time warp.
So you segued into a question I sometimes ask, and I'm going to ask it since you mentioned this. Any book recommendations or podcast recommendations or blogs or just anything that you might recommend to our listeners?
I have recently, I'm in a book club with some of my college friends.
Oh, that's cool.
And that started a little bit later last year. So we typically read a book a month, but my favorite author is Kristen Hanna, and she writes about historical fiction. And typically her main characters are women, and she writes about really all kinds of different historical events. The most recent ones that I've read, one of them specifically is about the women that were in the Vietnam War as nurses and you know, just helping support the war effort. And
you remember the title of that? Because I've heard
it's called
that.
The Women.
Yes. Okay. Right.
So that's it's an easy one to remember. But Kristen Hanna is wonderful. She's a very wonderful author, very descriptive, but not too long-winded, even though her books are long. But I would recommend anything by Kristen Hanna.
Yeah, I've read some terrific historical fiction over the years, but when you can tie it into events that you might be familiar with, that's really cool. Kendall, what about you? Is there any book, podcast, just
my favorite book? This year I have set a time restriction on my social medias.
Nice.
So I get like a lot of my social medias are geared around my company, my business, and everything, and I love to. Honestly, I love watching myself. I'm not gonna lie. Probably my only view sometimes. But I honestly don't use.
So you can just put this on repeat.
Yeah, that's why you have so many views.
Yeah, so like with her last year, I'm talking hours on TikTok, and I learn a lot, but it's just doom scrolling.
It is.
And so
it can get really bad.
I don't do it anymore. I told myself
it can happen in an instant.
And you're like, oh, it's 3 hours, and so my phone at 30 minutes it shuts off. And I don't press ignore. I had to, 21 days make a habit. But my principal in high school, Dr. Wilson, I will never forget her. I was sitting in her office, and yes, I was a little bit of a troubled student sometimes. And she looked at me, she said, you're going to have to, go to ISS or redirect. And I said, yeah, but she said, I want you to do something for me. I want you to read this book. Yeah. She turns behind her, and she grabs a book called Good to Great.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, you're a good student, Kendall.
Jim Collins.
Yes, and it's red. I'll never forget it. I have it, and I read it every quarter because she told me this. She said, you're a good student, but you have so much potential to be great. And it's an emotional conversation because, like you said, so many teachers believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. And I sat in ISS and read that whole book. She made me write a report on it.
Oh, wow.
And when I graduated, she handed me the report. She told me, she said, go be great. And so every quarter of my life, 4 times a year. I read that book, Good to Great, because you'll always be good, but it takes a better level of yourself to be great. And aspiring to be great, you'll do that for your whole life.
Did you ever develop a B hack from that? You remember that from the book, Big Hairy Audacious Goal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing that stands out because I've read that book multiple times. It's been a while. And then, the big concept as a business owner, getting the right people on the right seat on the bus, right?
Yes, sir.
That's a great
the
business
bus is
concept.
the biggest thing. I like to say the train. I like that. I tell my guys, I'm like, listen, the train's going to keep moving. We got to jump on or jump off. But let me tell you, it's never going to stop moving.
All right. So remember, this is a podcast about, I'll start with you on this question, Kendall. It's a podcast about Gaston County. We try to share great things happening in Gaston County. And obviously your foundation is one of them. But besides the Ashbrook Foundation, why would you say Gaston County is such a great place?
Oh, man, everything. Everything from Tony's Ice Cream to the food places. I know right now I do want to highlight another nonprofit, Keep Gastonia Beautiful, the KGB. So my company was blessed.
They've been on the podcast before.
Yes, Miss Lehman, we were blessed to have the opportunity to further their dreams, and we're right there on York Street doing their community garden. We're constructing that, and so just people like that just stay here and want to make this place better. I'm on another board, the African American Museum of History and Culture, with Dot Guthrie.
She's been on the podcast too.
Her vision.
These are episodes y'all need to go check out.
I know.
She's
terrific.
She's a true visionary.
She's terrific.
And when I say her dream is to just educate the youth, and she does it. And when we sit in those meetings, like to sit on a board with somebody like that who has like, pow, 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 do this, I want to do this. And just trying to say, okay, we got to keep up with the flow of her ideas. And she's a product of Gaston County. Like this community is just, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, I love Charlotte, but I love to say, like, Charlotte is such a move to city. You move to Charlotte. Like, there's people from Charlotte, but it's growing so rapidly fast that you meet people, I'm from here, Gaston. I grew up here. I went to Farsi, I went to Ashbrook, I went to South Point. Oh, you went to Noga, East Gaston? I went to Highland. You went to Highland. What school did you go to? And it's just like, Charlotte, they have, like, you go back to that word culture. There's a lot of, it's a mix of cultures. Yeah. Gastonia, you be living beside your grandparents, next door neighbor, your cousins, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's Gastonia. It's the gas house, Well,
just the connections we talked about before we started recording, right? So, that's a great point. I appreciate you sharing that. Preston, how would you answer that about Gaston County?
I mean, I would say that this is my village. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but it really does take a village.
Oftentimes they're cliches because they're
accurate,
right? I know,
because they're accurate, but I mean, my parents are from here. I grew up here. My grandparents, who are still here, are still living in Gastonia.
That's good.
So I think, not only having a village of family here, but having a village of friends and supporters and, a church community. And I know everybody has a different church community, or maybe they don't have a church community, but they find their community somewhere, and seems like there's a place for most people here.
Yeah.
You go through a lot of hard times in your life, and being able to have that village to fall back on. I know that my family in particular has, seen challenging times, and we've always had the community to fall back on. And so now, being an adult, of course, after college and being in textiles, I had, considered moving elsewhere, but it just felt right to move to the area. Of course, I do live in Charlotte, but I mean, I'm here every day.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody is perfect.
She'll come back.
And Charlotte is the the gateway to Gastonia.
It sure is. And so I think that being here every day and being a part of an organization like Ashbrook Foundation, you realize that there are passionate people here, just like you're saying. I mean, people want to give back. People do move back here. It's just a great place to be.
Well, again, I appreciate that, and we just like that question just because there are so many positive things, and we forget that. If you pay attention to social media, if you pay attention to the news, it's just, to your point, right? It's a lot of doom and gloom, but just my interactions on a day-to-day basis around here with people like your parents. makes me feel the opposite, right? Makes me feel how good things are and can be. So got one more question I'd like to ask, and it's kind of, might not, with the two of you, this might not be very appropriate, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So I'll start with you, Preston, just because you're slightly older. The normal question is, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Oh, gosh.
So maybe it should be just, what's a life lesson that you've taken over the past, I don't know, since Ashbrook maybe? Might be a better way to ask that question since you're both practically teenagers.
I mean, I don't know about that. But, I mean, I would truly say, don't care what anybody thinks about you.
Oh, wow, that's a good one when you're young,
I mean,
right?
just being a young woman, a young girl.
Yeah.
It's so hard to look at everybody else and think, oh, my God, they think I'm weird. They think I'm this. They think I'm that. At the end of the day, nobody's thinking about you. They're actually thinking about themselves.
They're not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, that would, I wish that I knew that. I mean, and of course that advice was given to me then, but I don't think you really actually take it.
When I was 20, I took zero advice from anybody. I knew everything. I was smarter than everybody else. Yeah, I didn't. I had no perspective.
Listen to your parents. I think that also is something that I didn't do.
Now, my parents did they went from that stage where they were getting dumber by the day, in my view. And it was early 20s when they started to go, oh, they're pretty smart.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff they were saying.
I talk to them every day now. I'm like,
me too.
You guys had a point.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you remember that thing that you told me back in the day? Yeah, you were right about that.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. I could go on, but.
Yeah. Kendall, how would you answer that one?
I always knew from a young age that I would be an entrepreneur. So I'm 23, so I mean I've only been. That's in my why I say
maybe it's a better question since Ashbrook or something.
I can definitely answer the question though. I mean, the biggest thing is we're all gonna make mistakes, but the biggest thing I think I could tell myself for the 3 years that I have lived in my 20s, like, and it's a business quote: "Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough."
Ooh,
that's good.
And
wow,
that. I can apply that to my life in so many aspects, but the biggest thing is slow down. I was at Carr Elementary reading a book about Michael Jordan, and I told the kids, I finished with, like, if somebody walked in the store right now and gave us all $86,400, we could spend it. I mean, I can put a laundry list of things I could spend it on. But if they looked at you and before they walked out and they turned around and said, I'll come back tomorrow and give you the same amount of money, but you got to spend all of this money right now today. Could you do it? Maybe for 5 days, but I get tired of shopping. And all the kids, oh, my God, it was so beautiful to listen. Oh, I'd buy my mom this. I'd buy a trailer of Takis. And I'm like, y'all's minds are just so, like, it's beautiful. But the beauty of life is we are granted 86,400 seconds every day.
I figured that might be where you were headed.
And so slow down, Kendall. Like, stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. I feel like I try to rush this thing called life. I try to graduate early. I try to start my business early. I try to move out too early. I was telling Preston on the way in, I moved into my new house and I got my Duke Energy bill. I called my mom and I was like, are you a dad? And
that's legit like, adulting.
She was
there.
like, yeah, what's wrong? I was like, I'm coming back. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm packing this up and I'm moving back in. And she's like, oh, it's the first of the month. I was like, bro, this is crazy, Mom. And so it's wild that, like, at my age, I just want to do so much. I want to move so fast. And I go talk to these younger kids and, like, I want to be this. And I'm like, slow down. Like, live in the moment. Like, you're never guaranteed tomorrow. Every day, the first thing I do, I say, God, thank you for today. Thank you for another opportunity to be great. And then slow down. And now I'm learning to live in today. I'm sitting back. I'm relaxing. I'm learning new hobbies. I'm walking. I'm running. I'm reading.
I mean, and you're peaking on the Gaston's Great podcast.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
I'm slowing down. And that is literally my life motto forever. And it's going to be something beautiful. But, yeah, that's what I would tell my 3 years in my 20s.
If you do any journaling, you should make sure you write that down.
Yeah, I definitely do.
What you just described.
You have this on a podcast now.
Yeah, so it'll be out there forever, right?
That's
I have to clip that.
There's that when I was younger, there's that disease that I had where everything will be better when I get married, when I graduate college, when I get a car, when, and guess what? That's a false dichotomy, right? There's always something else.
Yeah, you're chasing.
There's always the next thing. Listen, guys, this has really been fun. This has been great. Please share if you can for our listeners. Where can we go find more information out? Website, donate, just share one more time where we can find all that out.
On Facebook, we're the Ashbrook Foundation. That's where we're most active. And then our website is ashbrookfoundation.org. And you can sign up for the race there. You can donate there directly. And you can also become a sponsor there for the race.
Any last words from?
We hope to see you on April.
Oh, you'll 18th. See me. You'll see.
Be there, be square.
That's right.
So something just came to mind. Did either one of you have or interact with Leslie Wyatt?
Yes. Yes. Miss Wyatt and Miss Rimmer. Let me tell you, that duo changes lives.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I really hope they listen to this. I wasn't.
Oh, I'll send it to her.
I wasn't a student of Miss Wyatt's, but I was of Miss Rimmer's. And like I said, it is a wild experience. Miss Rimmer, her son's in the Ashbrook Foundation, and of course her other son, who's now in college, she asked me, "Hey, will you sponsor?" Of course, I would do anything for that woman because when I tell you the vision, like teachers, they're blessed with such a gift to see something in you, like that greatness.
Yeah.
But you're just good now, but they're trying to tap into the greatness. And let me tell you, Miss Rimmer definitely got me out
that's
of
good to hear.
She's a special woman. And Miss Wyatt and her, I see what they do for those boys on the side of the field.
Well, Leslie and her husband, David, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary a couple of weeks ago. When we moved into our first house, a couple months later, David and Leslie moved right beside us.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we had this period of time where, we both of us didn't have any money. So we just cooked out each other's houses and we hung out all the time, and they are great friends.
Yes.
And they still are, and they still are today. So, yeah, I'll make sure that she hears this. And, I mean, obviously we're going to send this out so you guys share it with anybody and everybody that you can with the foundation. So, guys, this is good. I appreciate the work you're doing. What you hear about the youth of today, my experience is different. You hear all these negatives about whether it's my kids, people your age, the young teammates we have here. My experience has just been different. It's positive in so many ways. So it's encouraging. The future, I think, for Gaston County and the world in general is positive. And I don't buy this other junk you hear, right? It's just when you get old like me, it was so hard, much harder when I was younger. These kids have it so easy. Everybody thought that at every age. So don't buy into that junk that you hear. So I'm gonna finish up, and man, this quote I chose, I'd either share a book or a quote or something, and man, Kendall, goes back to what you were talking about earlier. I chose a quote this week on excellence. It's from a gentleman named Lawrence Miller, and he said, "Excellence is not an accomplishment; it is a spirit, a never-ending process."
Love that.
So that it's not it's a journey, right? There's no destination of excellence. It's something that I believe you're always striving to get better at whatever you're involved with in all aspects of our lives. So again, I can't thank you enough for your time. So we're going to close this episode out, and to our listeners out there, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode. Please continue to spread the word if you can about the podcast, and please don't hesitate to contact us here at the email address, which is podcast@gastonsgreat.com. We're always looking for suggestions for future podcast topics and guests. You can find the podcast and subscribe at the website, gastonsgreat.com, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And please follow us on all our social media platforms. And obviously, this is going to get a lot of 5-star ratings, which helps us get noticed. Thanks again to Preston and Kendall for being our guests today. Gaston's Great is produced and brought to you by Amber Hauser of GSM Services. I'm your host, Stephen Long. Thanks again for hanging out with us, and please keep coming back to hear more reasons why Gaston's great.